Welcome to Chicago and your 2015 FBLA National Leadership Conference. All year long, your national officer team has been stepping up to the challenge. Let's meet them, starting with your Western Region Vice President from Arizona, Ian Mullane. From Georgia, here is your Southern Region Vice President, Nick Crawford. Let's hear it for your Mountain Plains Region Vice President from Kansas, Sarah Neatery. Welcome your Eastern Region Vice President from New York, Sabrina Sabet. Please welcome your National Parliamentarian from Washington, Hiral Patel. From Illinois, here is your National Treasurer, Ruben Torres. Let's hear it for your National Secretary from Florida, Annika Mullaney. And from Pennsylvania, welcome your National President, Sam Kessler. Members and advisors, this is your 2015 FBLA National Officer Team.
Welcome to Chicago and to your 2015 FBLA National Leadership Conference. So this year, your National Officer Team encouraged you to step up to the challenge, and throughout the year, you've done just that by reaching your goals with membership programs, fundraising, and service projects. While in Chicago, we continued our theme in other ways, as you step up to the challenge in competitive events, elevated your networking skills with members across the nation, and stepped up your leadership skills in workshops. I know I don't need to remind you to step up in your social media because your National Officer Team has been following your journey to the NLC using the hashtag NLC2015. And by the way, you're doing an incredible job of sharing your stories and accomplishments. So good luck at this NLC, and thank you so much for helping us step up to the challenge.
We begin tonight's session by highlighting the accomplishments of several of our members and advisors in this year's Parade of States. Leading our parade are the leaders of the North Central region, beginning with our host state of Illinois. As they join me on stage, help me thank our host committee members from Illinois FBLA for their work in hosting this wonderful conference. Stepping forward to receive a certificate of appreciation is Illinois FBLA PBL State Chair, Darlene Shannon. We also thank Illinois FBLA State Advisor, Sandra Bronson. Let's hear it once more for Illinois FBLA, our host of the 2015 National Leadership Conference. And now, let's turn the spotlight on outstanding members and advisors of the North Central region.
From Illinois, State President Parth Patel, Outstanding Local Chapter Advisor Brenda Stallard, and Who's Who recipient Daniela Fiju. From Indiana, State President Garrett Loitz. From Iowa, State Vice President Samir Ansari, Outstanding Local Chapter Advisor Donna DeAngelis, and Who's Who recipient Rohan Argawal. From Missouri, State President Amber Robb, Outstanding Local Chapter Advisor Colleen Closser, and Who's Who recipient Emma Downing. From Ohio, State President Ben Young. From Wisconsin, State President Sidney Wilcox, Outstanding Local Chapter Advisor Tracy Tate, and Who's Who recipient Cheyenne Mackay.
More than 80 years ago, athletes from across the country came together to Chicago to compete in the first All-Star baseball game held at Comiskey Park. In the bottom of the third, Babe Ruth launched one right into the right field stands, hitting the first home run in All-Star game history. At this NLC, we have brought together the best of our association. As you participate in your competitive events, remember that you too are competing against the best of our association. Challenge yourself to do your personal best, and just like Babe Ruth, you too will step up and hit a home run. Our members and advisors from the Southern region hit it out of the park this year, and tonight we are pleased to recognize these outstanding leaders.
Stepping up to the challenge is your Southern Region Vice President from Georgia, Nick Crawford. We begin with Alabama State President Alexis Crane, Outstanding Local Chapter Advisor Vicki Crane, and Who's Who recipient Nicholas Smith. From Arkansas, State President Jordan Lee, Outstanding Local Chapter Advisor Carol Anderson, and Who's Who recipient Grant Hudson. From Florida, State President Aisha Joseph, and Who's Who recipient Andy Alfonso. From Georgia, State President and Who's Who recipient Tamara Andrews, and Outstanding Local Chapter Advisor Tom Hatcher. From Kentucky, State President Jacob Beckley, Outstanding Local Chapter Advisor Carrie Jefferson, and Who's Who recipient Logan Donovan. From Louisiana, State President Grant Artero, Outstanding Local Chapter Advisor Chance McLaughlin, and Who's Who recipient Lauren James. From Mississippi, State President Brianna Ladnier, Outstanding Local Chapter Advisor Jennifer Crocker, and Who's Who recipient Michelle Lee. From North Carolina, State President Chandler Crean, Outstanding Local Chapter Advisor Jane Pendergrast, and Who's Who recipient Layla Terzic. From South Carolina, State President Kadri Bell, and Outstanding Local Chapter Advisor Leslie Knutson. From Tennessee, State President Kayla Massey, and Outstanding Local Chapter Advisor Robin McCamey. From Virginia, State President Ryan Apidgeon, Outstanding Local Chapter Advisor Ellie Younger, and Who's Who recipient Anna Wish. And from West Virginia, State President Macy Adkins, Outstanding Local Chapter Advisor Donna Singleton, and Who's Who recipient Dustin Martin.
Home to the Cubs, the White Sox, the Bears, the Blackhawks, and the Bulls. Chicago is a city that loves to compete and win. On April 10th of 1934, everyone was watching the Stanley Cup Finals between the Blackhawks and the Detroit Red Wings. After 3 periods and 2 overtimes, without anyone scoring a single goal, the Blackhawks shot and scored from 20 feet out. This overtime victory marked the Blackhawks' first Stanley Cup win and a defining moment for Chicago sports. This year, the Blackhawks repeated the challenge with a Stanley Cup victory over the Tampa Bay Lightning. This year's NLC is your chance to compete and win. Step up to the challenge and create your own defining moment in Chicago. We continue our parade tonight with the members and advisors of the Western Region.
Leading the region from Arizona is Western Region Vice President Ian Mullane. From Arizona, State President Hunter Wright, Outstanding Local Chapter Advisor Mary Baker, and Who's Who recipient Kenzie George. From California, State President Lydia Zong and Outstanding Local Chapter Advisor Graham Logie. From Nevada, State President Robert Biuno and Outstanding Local Chapter Advisor Angela Golick. From Oregon, State President Ellie Graham, Outstanding Local Chapter Advisor Carrie Davis, and Who's Who recipient Melody Lindorf. From Utah, State President Sophie Will, Outstanding Local Chapter Advisor Michael Sellers, and Who's Who recipient Zach Eberhard. And from Washington, State President Tori Kindred, and Who's Who recipient Bethany Williams.
In Game 2 of the 2005 World Series, tied at 6 in the bottom of the 9th, White Sox outfielder Scott Posednik had not hit a home run during the entire regular season. Yet he launched one into the right field stands, leading the White Sox on their way to sweep the World Series and bring home Chicago's first baseball championship since 1917. Whether you take home a trophy or not, the work you've done throughout the year has made a difference in your schools and in your communities. Tonight, we're pleased to recognize those individuals from the Eastern region who hit a home run by stepping up to the challenge and leading their local and state chapters to success this year.
We continue the parade with your Eastern Region Vice President from New York, Sabrina Sabet. From Connecticut, State President Maxwell Skalski. From Maryland, State President Nick Santangelo. Outstanding Local Chapter Advisor Tamara Edwards, and Who's Who recipient Timothy Chen. From Massachusetts, State President Nicholas Lazar. From New Hampshire, State President Dennis Rupert. From New Jersey, Outstanding Local Chapter Advisor Ahmed Kandil, and Who's Who recipient Carly De Oliveira. From New York, State President Derek Trost, and Who's Who recipient Vamshi Adimulam. From Pennsylvania, State President Cole Smith, Outstanding Local Chapter Advisor Linda Westerland, and Who's Who recipient Kimberly Bischoff. From Puerto Rico, State President and Who's Who recipient Omar Negron, and Outstanding Local Chapter Advisor Edwin Castro. From Rhode Island, State President Sahil Mishra, and Outstanding Advisor John West. From U.S. Virgin Islands, State President Dante Harris. And from Vermont, State President Grace Miller, and Who's Who recipient Sierra Cortez.
The Chicago Bulls are known for having one of the NBA's greatest dynasties, winning 6 NBA championships with 2 three-peats. All 6 championship teams were led by Hall of Famers Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and Coach Phil Jackson. While competing over the next few days, channel this winning spirit of the Chicago Bulls and step up to the challenge and do your best at this NLC. We are proud to recognize the members and advisors from the Mountain Plains region.
From Kansas, your Mountain Plains Region Vice President, Sarah Neatery. From Colorado, State President Logan Sessoms, Who's Who recipient Bailey Clear, and Outstanding Local Chapter Advisor Jana Robinette. From Kansas, State President Ashton Rottinghouse, Outstanding Local Chapter Advisor Ann Hutchinson, and Who's Who recipient JT Molina. From Nebraska, State President Nicole Kent, Outstanding Local Chapter Advisor Jane Bloom, and Who's Who recipient Trevor Koger. From North Dakota, State President Keaton Erickson, and Who's Who recipient Caleb Deshock. From Oklahoma, State President Holland Gray. From South Dakota, State President Elizabeth Hanson. From Texas, State President Idalia Nunez, and Who's Who recipient Maria Lewis Hudson. And from Wyoming, State President Jared Russell, Outstanding Local Chapter Advisor John Rounds, and Who's Who recipient Rio Radford.
We are proud to highlight the members and advisors who keep FBLA PBL at the top of our game. Thank you to those recognized on stage tonight for their commitment and leadership. Just like any great sporting event or competition, we pause to pay thanks to our nation. Please stand for the singing of our national anthem by Brock Garrison from Texas.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated.
Our board of directors joined us this year in stepping up to the challenge. This group of local teachers, state educators, business leaders, and our division presidents help lead and direct our association. We extend a special thank you to our board members who join us tonight. Please turn your attention to the screens as we recognize our National Board of Directors.
We appreciate the leadership of the Board of Directors Chair, Ted Harshbarger, from Nebraska and the Mountain Plains region. Serving as chair-elect is Karen Heslep, representing the Southern region from Arkansas. Serving as the business and industry representative is Zulima Garcia from KPMG LLP. Serving the North Central region, Lisa Hofstetter from Missouri, and Kelly Wilkerson from Illinois. Representing the Southern region, Lisa Weeks from Alabama. Representing the Western region, Chris Pendleton from Oregon. And Shay Padilla from Arizona. Serving the Mountain Plains region, Deb Parman from Colorado. Representing the Eastern region, Lee C. Marcoux from Connecticut. Next are the three division presidents: Sam Kessler, FBLA National President from Pennsylvania; Bo Cobb, PBL National President from Rhode Island; and David Jones, Professional Division National President from Maryland. Your ex officio, non-voting members of the Board of Directors are Monty Rhodes, past chair from Georgia, and Gene Buckley, FBLA PBL President and CEO. Tonight, we recognize several board members who have completed their term of service on the board. Stepping forward to receive his recognition plaque is Monty Rhodes from Georgia. From Missouri, we thank Lisa Hofstetter. And from Oregon, we appreciate Chris Pendleton. Thank you for your service to FBLA PBL.
Michael Jordan said, "I've always believed that if you put in the hard work, the results will come." No one epitomizes this quote better than our president and CEO, who has put in the countless hours, and the results, well, they speak for themselves. Let's give a big FBLA welcome to our president and CEO, Miss Jean Buckley.
Good evening, FBLA. Welcome to Chicago and the 2015 National Leadership Conference. Let me start tonight by announcing that you broke another NLC record. This is our largest conference ever with over 11,000 attendees. Congratulations. But that is not all. You had a big membership increase this year, so you now stand strong at over 206,000 members across the country. Congratulations to everybody. You have grown internationally, and a special welcome to the chapters here tonight from Haiti, Canada, and China. We're glad you're here. You helped raise our national profile, like Washington State featuring innovators at their conference, including the former president of Starbucks and the creator of Xbox. Franklin High School in North Carolina, partnering with country music star Wade Hayes to fight colon cancer. Arizona, having Senator and former presidential candidate John McCain bring greetings at their state conference. And we were featured on America's favorite game show, Jeopardy! Let's take a look.
This is the Jeopardy! Team Tournament.
That's it? Obstacle Club's 800.
Future CEOs and entrepreneurs come together for meetings of the FBLA, BL standing for this. Jeff.
What are business leaders?
Yeah.
After Club's 200.
That's cool. You earn national recognition for your service and innovation. 5 chapters received grants from our national partner, Lead to Feed. And get this, the top 2 grand prize winners, Odessa High School in Washington and Grassfield High School in Virginia, each received $25,000 for their charity and $20,000 in technology products for their high school. Great job. But it's not over. I am so pleased to announce that Lead to Feed has expanded their partnership with us. They will be sponsoring a competitive event here and donating an additional $20,000 to FBLA. Thank you, Lead to Feed. I have even more exciting news. Your national presidents and I have been invited to a special event at the White House tomorrow. 2 of our FBLA members are being recognized as national CTE innovators. Congratulations to them. And in support of all your efforts, I am delighted to welcome 13 new sponsors this year. They join our 48 returning companies in sponsoring our competitive events program. You see them on the screen, and on Thursday evening, they will provide the trophies and cash awards to our winners. Again this year, we are thrilled to have every single FBLA and PBL competitive event sponsored, raising a record $257,000. Finally, we have been stepping up to provide you the best conference experience. There is a new conference app. Your national president created Launchpad for you to share your business ideas. We are piloting online voting. And don't miss the Krispy Kreme Cruiser on Wednesday. It has been an outstanding year, FBLA. Again, thank you for stepping up and have a wonderful conference.
What a great look at your accomplishments this year. We continue our recognition by naming those who stepped up to the challenge by earning a top spot in our membership awards. These awards are based on the April 15th reporting date. We ask that one representative from the following chapters please come quickly to the stage. Larry A. Ryle High School in Kentucky, Southside Baptist Christian School in Virginia, and Divide County High School in North Dakota. We also ask the following state chapters to send one representative to the stage: Georgia FBLA, Arizona FBLA, and California FBLA.
We ask that all representatives please remain on stage until all membership awards have been presented. We begin with the largest local chapter award. With 580 members, congratulations to Larry A. Ryle High School in Kentucky. Next is the Market Share Award. With 100% of the high school as members of the FBLA, congratulations to Southside Baptist Christian School in Virginia. Winning the award for the largest local chapter professional division with 88 members, Divide County High School in North Dakota. Congratulations to the largest state chapter professional division with 343 members. Congratulations to Georgia. Stepping forward as the winner of the state recruitment of chapters with 40 new or reactivated chapters, congratulations to California. Let's congratulate the winner of the largest increase in state chapter membership award with 476 new members, Arizona. Our final membership award recognizes the largest state membership. In first place, with 19,022 members, we congratulate Georgia. Congratulations to all our membership award winners.
FBLA PBL has teamed up with the March of Dimes for over 40 years. In that time, our members have helped improve the lives of premature infants by raising over $15 million and creating increased awareness. Tonight, we are pleased to name the chapters recognized for their fundraising efforts. Joining us on stage to assist with the presentation of these awards is March of Dimes National Youth Council member Diana Tran. Also making their way to the stage is a representative from the following chapters: Bothell High School in Washington, Centennial High School in Oregon, Charles R. Drew Middle School in Alabama, Crosby High School in North Dakota, Franklin Simpson High School in Kentucky, Nettleton High School in Arkansas, and Wallkill Valley Regional High School in New Jersey. We also ask one representative from the following state chapters to please come to the stage: Alabama, Arkansas, Georgia, Nevada, New Jersey, Oregon, and Puerto Rico.
We ask all of our representatives to remain on stage until all of the awards have been presented. We begin with the top 5 local chapters raising the most money for the March of Dimes. Stepping forward in 5th place, we congratulate Franklin Simpson High School in Kentucky. Fourth place, Charles R. Drew Middle School in Alabama. Third place, Crosby High School in North Dakota. Second place, Nettleton High School in Arkansas. And in first place, Wallkill Valley Regional High School in New Jersey. Next, we recognize the top 5 state chapters raising the most money for the March of Dimes. In 5th place, we congratulate Georgia. In 4th place, Arkansas. Third place, New Jersey. Second place, Alabama. And in first place, we congratulate Puerto Rico. 3 local chapters are receiving grants this evening. The first recipient of the March of Dimes grant is Wallkill Valley Regional High School in New Jersey. Next is Centennial High School in Oregon. And congratulations to Bothell High School in Washington. Two state chapters are receiving grants this evening. Congratulations to Nevada FBLA. And we congratulate Oregon FBLA. Thank you to everyone who contributed to the March of Dimes. We appreciate our continued partnership. Next is the FBLA Distinguished Business Leader Scholarship. This scholarship recognizes outstanding FBLA members for their activity and involvement in the association. Stepping forward to receive her scholarship, we congratulate Kristen English from Swainsboro High School in Georgia. Next, we honor Casey Kiefer from Calvin High School in Louisiana. Congratulations to Trevor Koger from Arlington High School in Nebraska. We also congratulate Hannah Meddy from Spring Creek High School in Nevada. And congratulations to Caitlin Schaefer from Blair Oaks High School in Missouri. We continue with the National Technical Honor Society Scholarship, available to any dues-paying member who is also a member in good standing of the NTHS. Assisting with the presentation of awards from NTHS is Carol Kazmarek. Stepping forward to receive a $1,000 scholarship, we congratulate Alexander Everett from Buckholz High School in Florida. One deserving member has earned a full tuition scholarship from Johnson & Wales University. Stepping forward to receive her full tuition scholarship, we congratulate Savannah Butcher from Grand Junction High School in Colorado. Congratulations to these scholarship recipients. We continue our recognition with the Business Persons of the Year. Stepping forward as the District of Columbia Business Person of the Year is Beatrice Squire, retired Division Director and Ombudsman for the federal government. Next is Illinois FBLA's Business Person of the Year, Nancy Wolf, System Analyst with Hospital Sisters Health System. Next, we recognize Iowa FBLA's Business Person of the Year, Jean Greco, Technical Writer for Cogent Solutions Incorporated. We congratulate Kansas FBLA's Business Person of the Year, Robin Needery, Manager and Vice President of Countryside Veterinary Associates. Thank you to Maryland FBLA's Business Person of the Year, Andrew Ondish, Senior Accountant for Weyrich, Cronin, and Sora. Congratulations to Nebraska FBLA's Business Person of the Year, Kelly Lammers, Department Director for the Nebraska Department of Banking and Finance. We recognize New Jersey FBLA's Business Person of the Year, Paul Santini, Franchise Owner, Golf Tech. And thank you to Oregon FBLA's Business Person of the Year, Judy Kennedy, from Pacific Northwest Federal Credit Union. Thank you once again to all of our Business Persons of the Year.
Throughout the conference, there will be several opportunities to meet your national officers. Meet and greet times are posted by the conference registration desk. If you would like to see your advisor or chapter members recognized on screen during the Award of Excellence program, email your photos to flashback@pdcproductions.com. And remember to tag all of your conference photos with #NLC2015. State and local voting delegate changes must be made at the election headquarters at the Hyatt Regency by the Grand Desk by 1 p.m. tomorrow. No changes will be allowed after this time. Be sure to visit the exhibits and campaign booths in the Grand Ballroom of the Hyatt Regency, where you can learn more about our national officer candidates and gain valuable information from our vendors and exhibitors. Take time to visit the marketplace in the same location to get your customized FBLA apparel and National Leadership Conference t-shirt. Hours are from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. tomorrow, and Wednesday from 9:30 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Be sure to visit the silent auction tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. in the Grand Ballroom of the Hyatt Regency. A variety of items, including gift baskets and hotel packages, will be available for bidding. The proceeds will go towards sponsoring student recognition. Make sure to attend your regional campaign rally and recognition session tomorrow evening. This will be the only scheduled regional meeting for everyone and will include state success stories, regional vice president campaign speeches, Q&A, and a regional award recognition. We also encourage you to join us on Wednesday from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. for the March for Babies. Please meet us in the Crystal Ballroom foyer at the Hyatt Regency. As we show our pride for the March of Dimes, remember to bring your $5 donation and your walking shoes.
Before we introduce tonight's keynote speaker, we ask all candidates for national office, including those of national parliamentarian and regional vice presidents, to please report backstage. Tonight's keynote speaker is a worldwide adventure icon and author of several highly acclaimed books. This adventure enthusiast has traveled to 51 countries on 6 different continents and even reached his lifelong dream of climbing to the summit of Mount Everest, which was featured on 60 Minutes, and gave him the nickname the Climber Guy. Through his travels, he has learned valuable lessons in goal setting, productivity, and high performance, which he will share with us tonight. Please welcome John Beatty.
Yeah! National FBLA! They said that you needed a speaker to pump you up, fire you up, and get you feeling great. But I can tell that you're already pumped up and fired up. Now it's time for us to go from great to flippin' unbelievable. Who's with me? Yeah! My name is John. I want to start by asking you 3 questions, and I need a rowdy response for each one of these questions. Question number 1, who would like to leave here today with more money in your wallet, pocket, or purse than you came in with? Put up your right hand and say, climb on. Question number 2, who would like to leave here today better looking, more attractive, and more sexy than when you came in? Put up your left hand and say, climb on. All of Texas is like, we can't get more sexy. Question number 3, who wants to have an awesome time between now and when we're finished with this whole conference? Put up both hands and say, climb on, baby. Then everybody say, good news. The good news is you are in the right place at the right time. You live in the most exciting time in the history of planet Earth, and you are a part of the organization that trains more business leaders and entrepreneurs for success than any other organization on the planet. Everybody do this. Put both fists straight up into the air. Put 2 fingers, point them down at yourself and say, I'm awesome. Now do this. Tap the person's shoulder on the right side next to you and say, you lucky to be sitting next to me. Now tap the person's shoulder on the left side and say, I own you, you little punk. Everybody please clap once. Clap twice. The truth of the matter is that I feel lucky to be standing in front of 11,000 future leaders of American business who at the end of this speech are going to be looking at their own lives and saying, I own you, you little punk. I would like to spend this time sharing with you the lessons that I have learned while climbing the tallest mountains on 6 of our 7 continents. But before I can do that, I have a theory. And my theory is that this needs to be the most crazy, off-the-chain national conference in the history of FBLA. Are you with me? Then on 3, I need everyone to stand up as quickly as you can. 1, 2, 3, stand up. I would like to teach you a principle that I learned in South Africa. I went swimming with great white sharks, and the guy tells me, you don't need to have courage the entire time you swim with sharks. All you need to do is have 8 seconds of being awesome as you get down into the cage. So I slid down into the cage, and suddenly this massive great white shark charges towards me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is insane, 17 feet. I'm like, ah! And it charges at me, but it was amazing because I had those 8 seconds of being awesome. What I want you to do right now is to embrace this concept of just taking 8 seconds to make your life awesome by doing this. I want you, to the person to the right and to your left, pretend as though you have just seen a long-lost friend who you haven't seen in 10 years. You have 8 seconds, go! Oh my gosh, it's you! How are you? I can't believe I'm seeing you! That's insane! Oh, great! And stop! National FBLA, I believe you guys have more energy than that. So, when the music starts, I want you to pretend as though your favorite team just won the World Series, the Super Bowl, or the Stanley Cup. You have 8 seconds, go! Oh my gosh, this is it! Oh, they just won it! Yeah! Oh, Lord! Everyone, please clap once. Clap twice. You can use this in each of your competitive events. When you go in, say, I'm going to be awesome just for 8 seconds, and the rest will take care of itself. Raise your hand and say, I feel better than I did 8 seconds ago. Everyone, please quickly take a seat. As promised, I would like to take you to the summit of Mount Everest. On May 20th, 2013 was the day I reached the top, but it was a 6-week adventure that began with a 10-day journey to Everest Base Camp. From there, we took a sharp right and we began to climb the Khumbu Icefall. It's a 3,000-foot frozen waterfall where every second matters because an avalanche could collapse on you, as happened in 2014 and the 2015 seasons. Then we began to climb up what's called the Western Khum. It's a valley where the light radiation is so intense that we had to duct tape bags of ice to our necks just to stay cool. Then the real climbing began as we went up another 3,000 feet. This time, it's a frozen ice slope. If you take a fall here, you'll skid down that entire way and slip into a crevasse, never being seen again. It wasn't just me. I'm with my guide. His name is Nuru Gyaltsen Sherpa, and he is my hero. Together, our plan is to get to Camp 4 and then leave at 7 p.m. and climb throughout the night. Then, we descend before the following afternoon storms hit. So we made it, and we strapped oxygen masks onto our faces. The temperature that night dropped to 40 degrees below zero, with a wind chill that's 91 degrees below Fahrenheit. And now it was time for us to go after our adventure. I started strong. My pace was 3 breaths for 1 step. So literally, I was climbing like this. This went on for 3 hours at this pace until finally a guide named Justin comes up to me and he says, "John, your pace is incredible." We were breathing 1/3 of the oxygen that you and I are breathing right here at almost sea level. I continued up and Justin fell back, and as we're climbing, I have a headlamp on my forehead that's shining a 100-foot beam of light in front of me. To the left and to the right, I look down and I see what I think are other climbers. And I'm going, why are they coming up from the sides next to me? And I realize those weren't climbers. Those were stars. We're so high above the curvature of the Earth that we were looking down on the Milky Way galaxy rotating beneath us. Cool. As I'm looking down, I have this red down suit on, and I look down at it, and I knew it was red, but as I look down at it, I see that it's gray. And I'm going, that's weird, what's going on? Nuru, my guide, grabs my oxygen canister, turns me down, and he says, "Sir, no more oxygen. Empty." Fewer than 70 people have ever climbed Everest without oxygen. This could be a death sentence. He says, "Stay here." He goes off, leaves me in the darkness of the Himalayan sky. Comes back in about 10 minutes. He has a fresh oxygen bottle because we had almost made it to our stash. He screws in the oxygen canister, and as soon as I take that fresh breath, my coat turns red again. Whoa. I decide to continue climbing. And after several more hours, I see the sun starting to rise. These purples and blues are appearing, and I recognize from photographs what is the Hillary Step. It's the most technical part of the climb. Nuru and I get to the summit of the Hillary Step, and my friend Dan, who had already reached the top, takes this photograph. On one side of me, I have a 10,000-foot drop into Nepal. On the opposite side, I have an 8,000-foot drop into China.
And Nuru says right here in this moment, "Sir, if you fall to 10,000 foot side. You live longer." And I'm like, what are you talking about? We get up to the top of the Hillary step, and I see the top of the world, the top of Mount Everest. It's 200 feet away from me. That's it. People are celebrating, taking pictures. I take my next step, and Nuru grabs my backpack and pulls me backwards. He taps on my oxygen canister, and he says, "Sir, also empty. Oxygen leak. We go back now." I say, "No, we can't turn around. It's 200 feet away from me. That's it, the top of the world." He says, "You die, you no turn around." To give you a concept of how valuable this moment it was for me, I need to take you back to teach you the leadership and success principles that I've created, what I call the Climb On Success Formula. I grew up in a town outside of Las Vegas, and that's a picture of me when I was a little kid. Oh, stop. And I became a freshman in high school, and I was never... How you doing? I was never in any leadership organizations like FBLA. My sophomore year, a close friend was killed in a car accident, and I left a year of my life behind feeling depressed. Until a speaker came to our school, and I remember what I left thinking. I left thinking that my life is just that. It's mine, and it's up to me and only me to make it, mold it, and create it into whatever I choose or decide to make it into. I'm the captain of my ship and the master of my soul. And I said, I'm gonna find the craziest sport I can possibly come up with. And about a week later, my dad signs me up to go to Boy Scout camp. Like, crazy wild adventure, here I come. I went, and there was a rock climbing and rappelling section of the camp. Has anybody here ever been climbing or rappelling? Raise your hand if you have. Awesome, a lot of you then. So you know what they do. They take a 1/2-inch rope, and they tie it to a tree, and then they tell you to walk backwards off of a cliff. This is a brilliant idea. My whole life, I've been terrified of heights. I get to the edge of the cliff, and I do the one thing they say you should never do. Jump. Who said what? They also say that. I look down. The instructor guy is an ex-Marine, and I froze. He says, "There a problem?" "I'm scared." And he says, "It's not falling you have to worry about. It's when you hit the ground. Now you gonna go or what?" I was like, what? And we're faced these moments in life, aren't we? When we can either face our fears and decide by facing our fears who we might become by doing so, or I could have cowered and gone back to the tree. It's kind of like Ambrose Redmoon says, courage is not the absence of fear, but rather it's the judgment that there is something else more important than fear. So while I'm on the side of this cliff, the instructor goes, "Take an impossible step." Essentially, he was saying, step up to the challenge. Except in this case, I was stepping down to the challenge. And I knew that because I just took one impossible step, that I could take another impossible step, because I had blown through my idea of what possible and impossible were. And it's like that I went down 200 feet. That was my first climbing experience. Now I want to teach you what I call the Climb On Success Leadership Formula. The first part of it is on the screen. I want you guys to yell it out as loud as you can. It is pick a summit. 1, 2, 3, pick a summit. So the first thing that I do when I go out rock climbing is I pick one peak, one mountaintop to get up. That and only that is my objective or my goal. To teach you what I mean by this, I need everybody to please hold up both of your palms. Hold them up real high so I can see them. Did you know that one of your hands is longer than the other one? It's true, watch this. Underneath each one of your palms, you have a line that goes straight across your hand. Everybody say, yes, I see it. Now please, line those two lines up again so you make this fan shape like this. Once you've made this fan shape, stretch your hands out, roll them together, and look, you'll see that one of your hands is just barely longer than the other one. Now do this. Show me the shorter of your two hands. Hold it up real high so I can see it. We're going to give this hand a goal. We're going to make this hand get bigger. Everyone, do this. Look at your hand square in the eye. Say this at your hand. Hand. Say it like you mean it. Hand. Get bigger. You are now gigantic. You are bigger than my other hand. I can feel you enormous. I command you to grow. Now do this. Line those two lines up again. Roll your hands together and look at how that hand grew. What? Isn't that weird? Now, this does not work for any other body parts. I'm just going to, you can't, there's not. What you just did was give your hand a very simple goal. You said, I'm going to make my hand get bigger. But it works for so much more than just silly little tricks like this. The first time I knew the power of picking a summit was my very first day of college. My professor walks in, and he's kind of a timid guy, and he just sets down his briefcase, and he says, class, your assignment for the next week is to write down 100 goals for your life. I'm going, what, 100 goals? He says, if you do not do this assignment, you will flunk my class. I'm like, guess I have to do it. And I was just a little punk kid, so I pull out the notepad and pen after class was out, and I go, number 1, finish this assignment. Number 2, get to number 3. But the more I goofed off with it, the more I realized I couldn't fudge or fake the whole assignment. So I started putting down real goals for myself and for my life, like visit every continent on the planet, write a book by the time I turn 20, become fluent in Spanish and fluent in Mandarin Chinese, climb to the top of Mount Everest, give away $1 million to charity over the course of my lifetime, ride an elephant in Thailand, snowboard through a flock of penguins in Antarctica. To date, I've finished 62 of these goals, and I can guarantee you that by the day I die, I will have all 100 of those crossed off that list. Thank you. What I really care about is that you come up with your own list of 25, 50, 100 goals, summits for your life. Will you do that? Say, yeah. Awesome. Then the next part of the Climb On Success formula I'll get to after I take you on a journey of what I've done with these goals. So follow me as I show you what success was for me. The first thing I wanted to do was figure out how to safely climb up different mountains and different peaks. So I would follow other climbers up their mountains, and by modeling their body language or their technique, I would then know that I could successfully climb these mountains myself. And what a great metaphor for success. All you need to do to become great at anything is copy other people who have already been to where it is that you want to go. And then the next thing I knew, I was having a party on top of these climbs, like, heck yeah, made it up, all right. I started traveling around the United States, seeing this incredible country that we have, and learning to become a stronger climber as I faced my greatest fear. I had the opportunity to visit several of the continents, the 6 of the continents around the planet, seeing amazing cities like Rome, Paris, Berlin, and Moscow. I've seen wildlife up close and personal, like I've hung out with baby tigers, which is just adorable in every possible way. I've swam with great white sharks, whale sharks, alligators, and dolphins. To me, this was my definition of success. What I care about is that you come up with your own definition of success, whatever that may be. Whether it's rafting off of a waterfall, starting your own business, kite surfing, being an entrepreneur, a doctor, it doesn't matter. Where you will find joy in life is when you learn to chase after the dreams that you care about. So finally, I started asking myself, do I have what it takes to reach the summit of the world, the top of Mount Everest? So I started loading my backpack up with hundreds of pounds, literally, of weight, learning to get stronger. I would lower myself into crevasses, trying to learn how to get out of them in case on Everest I ever fell. This was my version of success, of how I picked my summits. And the next part of the Climb On Success formula is to gear up. Once I've learned what mountaintop I'm going up, the next thing is to create a plan of how I'm going to get up that peak. So I'd like to take you now to Kilimanjaro, the tallest mountain in Africa. It's 19,340 feet above sea level, and I go there with my father. Now this is not my father. This is Tom. He's one of our guides, along with Emmanuel. Tom and Emmanuel tell us that as we climb Kilimanjaro, we are not going to be like the lion. Because when the lion hunts, it has one chance, one opportunity to go after its prey, and usually the lion misses. Instead, we're going to climb like the hyena. Because the hyena has fun. The hyena is social. The hyena laughs. Mufasa. The way hyenas hunt is they move slowly after their prey, wearing it out throughout the day. Then at night, hyenas laugh because that keeps their prey awake, so they never get rested. After 5 or 6 days go by, everyone moves in and gets fed. That's the same way Tom and Emmanuel say we're going to climb Kilimanjaro. So we start slowly through these beautiful jungles where we've got like Dr. Seuss trees and massive rocks in front of us. Finally, we get above the cloud and we see the summit. My father says, "That's impossible." I say, "Dad, don't worry. I've got a plan for us." There's a part of the climb that's called the Kiss the Rock Wall. And the reason it's called that is because as you go past, your face gets so close that you can kiss the rock as you go by. My father, his whole life, has been terrified of heights. He gets to this spot, and he grips the rock, and he looks over at me and says, "John, what do I do?" I say, "Dad, just take an impossible step." He says, "I'm scared." I say, "Dad, it's not falling you have to worry about, it's when you hit the ground. Now you gonna go or what?" And he lifts up his foot and he says, "Okay, impossible step." And he leans over onto it and he says, "Now what?" I go, "Just do it again." And he brings in his left foot and he goes, "Okay, I got the hang of this now." And he goes 2 more steps over and he's facing that rock and he says, "Well, I'm here, I have to do it." And he kisses that rock. He takes 2 more steps and he gets to the other side of it. And that night at camp, he says, "John, I don't give a damn about this mountain." I'm going, "Dad, we came to Africa. We're going to spend 8 total days on this mountain. What do you mean you don't care?" He says, "John, I came to this climb so that I could spend 8 total days with my son." And my heart does just that. It goes, bleh. I say, "Dad, are we still going to go for the summit?" He goes, "Oh, you bet we are." So we woke up at 2 in the morning, and we began the climb towards the top. The sunrise comes up hours later, and Tom and Emmanuel are there cheering us on. They're going, yeah, you guys got this, come on, go. We see the glacier up ahead, which marks the summit of all of Africa. And if you have a chance in the next 20 years, go and see that, because when that glacier melts, it's gone because of global warming. Tom and Emmanuel are there cheering us on as my dad is saying to himself, impossible step. All right, you got that one, take another. Impossible step. All right, you got that one, take another. And finally he looks over at me and he says, this thing doesn't end, it doesn't stop. When does it stop? I say, Dad, that's it. The sign that marks the top of all of Africa is right there. You got this. And he says, I don't believe you. And this whole time, Tom and Emmanuel called him Babu, which in grandfather means Swahili, which in Swahili means grandfather, because at 61 years old, he was the oldest person that they had ever seen, period. So my dad is taking step after step, and finally he sees it, and he says, this is amazing, and they're cheering, going, Babu, 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 and he says, oh my gosh, we've made it. We should dedicate this moment to your grandfather, to my father. I say, Dad, that's a brilliant idea, let's do it. He reaches over and gives me this huge hug, and he says, John, I love you. And I say, Dad, of course I love you too. This has been the most incredible climb of my life. This is where my definition of success changed, because no longer was it about me reaching these summits around the world, it was about the family and the people that I took along with me. Would you give Babu a huge round of applause? The last part of the Climb On leadership formula is to actually go for it, to climb on with everything that you've got. So you'll remember, with the summit of Everest 200 feet away from me, I was going after it, and I was being told no. A guide randomly appears, and he says, congratulations, you've made it, you're here. I say, I can't, I have to turn around. He says, that's stupid. I go, I don't know what to do, I'm running out of air. And he says, watch this. And he takes my regulator on my oxygen and dips it into his tea, pulls it out, and screws that back into the oxygen canister. And the freezing, expanding tea seals the leak. Brilliant. I wanted to kiss the guy. I just needed that little extra boost to get there. So me, that guide, and Nuru reach the summit, and on one side of us we have the sunrise coming up over China, and the opposite we have the perfect pyramid shadow of Mount Everest off in the distance. And we celebrated up there, just as you are here to celebrate yourselves being on top of an Everest-type experience. Nuru then says to me what I would like to leave you here with tonight. He says, careful, down matters most. Yes. And the reason he says this is because a full 70% of mountaineering deaths occur on the descent, on the way down. For you, what this means is right now, you're at this incredible conference and this experience, but when you will make this matter is what you do after the conference is over. Whether you take what you learn here back to your chapters, back to your family, and if you then change your life as a result of this, that is how you can make your FBLA experience here matter. You guys have been amazing. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for... Awesome, thank you.
Thank you, John, for inspiring us to step up and reach our goals. It is now time to begin the campaign rally to introduce the candidates running for next year's National Officer Team. Let's begin by meeting the candidates for National Parliamentarian and Regional Vice President.
Your candidates for National Parliamentarian are Ariana Baird from Kentucky, Allison Baser from Kansas, Sydney Bell from Wisconsin, Joshua Bolin from Iowa, Kaylee Butler from Kentucky, Brandon Byrd from Georgia, Blaine Durbini from Louisiana, Shubangi Mehra from New York, and Vanessa Ting from New Jersey. Best of luck to our candidates for National Parliamentarian. Next are your candidates for Regional Vice President. Meet your candidate for Western Region Vice President from Oregon, Grace Ramstead. Here is your Southern Region candidate from Louisiana, Simon Reeser. Meet your candidate for North Central Region Vice President from Missouri, Jessica Wynn. Your candidate for the office of Mountain Plains Region Vice President from North Dakota, Keaton Erickson. Welcome your candidates for Eastern Region Vice President from Maryland, Carmen Lau. And from Pennsylvania, Hirsch Sisodia. Good luck to these candidates. And now, back to your national president for some important campaign information.
Best of luck to all of our candidates for Regional Vice President and National Parliamentarian. In tomorrow's regional campaign rallies and recognition sessions, you'll hear the speeches for the office of Region Vice President. Be sure to check the conference app for the time and location of your respective regional session. For the offices of President, Secretary, and Treasurer, each candidate will speak from this lectern or use the handheld microphone. So that everyone in the room can hear, we ask that you speak directly into the mic. Each candidate will have 2 minutes for his or her speech. Hero Patel, your national parliamentarian, will be seated in the front row and will stand when 15 seconds are remaining. When your time's up, she'll stand and call time, and then you must finish. The campaign speeches will be given in the order of Treasurer, Secretary, and President. For each office, the candidates will be introduced alphabetically by last name.
We begin with the office of Treasurer. The National Treasurer is responsible for maintaining accurate records of national officer travel as well as promoting the goals of the association. Our candidate for National Treasurer is Ashton Rottinghouse from Kansas.
Hello, my name is Ashton Rottinghouse, and I am ready to lead FBLA as your next National Treasurer. As the current Kansas State President and past State Treasurer, I have gained more experience than I could have imagined. I have met many friends, professionals, and advisors who have helped me to grow in my knowledge of FBLA and how it can benefit all of us. Not only do I serve Kansas, but I also serve on the National Treasurers Council. Both roles have provided me with a better knowledge of FBLA. If elected as your National Treasurer, I promise to continue the leadership I've displayed over the years and strive to implement goals I have devised that will only improve our organization, as well as continue with programs established by previous leadership teams. By communicating monthly with state officers, state advisors, professionals, and FBLA members across the nation, I can expand our partnerships and corporate sponsorships to benefit all levels of FBLA. By maintaining contact with each state's officer team, I would like to create a database of potential corporate sponsors that states and chapters can use as judges, speakers, and mentors. With an enthusiastic National Treasurers Council, I would like to aid in the promotion and development of our organization to develop a catalog of fundraising ideas that all chapters can utilize. And finally, I plan to assist the President, the National Officer Team, and the National Board of Directors when implementing innovative ideas to help improve and promote our FBLA organization. My passion for FBLA has always been apparent, while my knowledge for this organization continues to build. Together, we can take aim to reach these goals and hit the bullseye of success to create an unforgettable year for the future business leaders of America.
There are 4 candidates for the office of National Secretary.